Right, Madda, I think we should get started with our presentation since the breakout rooms are going to close on time for the panel conversation later. We would like to, on behalf of UP Zürich, as well as Windseeker Coaching and Wernecke Coaching, we would like to welcome you to the Strengthen Up event in celebration of World Mental Health Day. We feel very honored that you chose our confidence boost. Thank you very much for investing your valuable time and attention in our session today. Before we get started, we'd like to do a quick introduction. Madda, on to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maddalena. For many years, I worked as a biologist in the field of marine conservation. And lately, I focused more on coaching and training and working a little bit in the mental health space as an advocate and a first aider.
Madda, please can we move to the next slide? I can only see the first one. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. I'm Naomi Wernecke. I am a personal professional development coach at Wernecke Coaching, as well as the co-founder of UP Zürich. All right. Now, before we get started with our exercises, we would like to let you know that there is absolutely no need to take notes during this session. We will be dropping an info sheet into the chat at the end of the session, so you'll have all the important information in one document. But there will be some writing exercises. So we would like to invite you to get a pen and paper or your laptop, anything that you could write with, what you feel most comfortable with. And if you could kindly give us a thumbs up on video or a thumbs up via the reactions on Zoom that you've got something to write. Okay. Then, before we get started with the exercises, we would actually like to start chatting about confidence and self-esteem. So many people actually use the words interchangeably because sometimes one thinks they are very, very similar, but they are actually different things. So let's explore the differences between confidence and self-esteem. While confidence is how you project yourself to the outside world, it is like directly related to your capabilities and your trust in your capabilities. It is situational. So while you might feel confident to speak in front of 100 people or so, you may not feel confident to host a dinner party, for example, with your own home-cooked meal. Confidence can be a pretense, so you can act confident, although you might not really be feeling confident inside. Confidence is also an element of self-esteem, although it is not the same thing, it is an element thereof. Self-esteem, on the other hand, is how you see yourself inside, irrelevant of the outside world and invisible to the outside world. It is directly related to how you see your own value and you see your own worth. It is general and it's foundational, meaning it affects every area of your life. The good news is both of them can be strengthened. And since the workshop today is about confidence, we will be boosting and strengthening our confidence here today together, starting with a power pose. Some of you might already know the power pose. Some of you might have done the power pose already, and some of you maybe have never seen it before. So I would like to invite you to join the power pose with me. You may keep your camera on or turn it off. It's really up to you, whatever you feel most comfortable with. You can also step away from the screen if you don't want anybody to see you. But how we get started is we all stand up. I hope you can see me well. All right. Now, you may know this from yoga, but I'd like you to please put your legs, your feet on the floor, get grounded, get them hip width apart. Place your feet hip width apart. And then stand up straight, push your chest out, put your chin slightly up, and now you get a choice. You can choose between either putting your hands on your hips Or you could put your hands like that, like you're strong. Or you could even put your hands and your arms up as if you're flying. Now, I'd like you to close your eyes and embrace this pose. Imagine your most confident self. Imagine a time where you felt extremely confident, and try and embrace and tap into that feeling. I'd like to invite you to take 4 deep, long breaths. You can follow me. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Believe that you are truly capable, competent, and confident. All right. I'd like to invite you all to return back to the session. Thank you for striking your power pose. We hope that you were able to tap into a bit of that confidence feeling to get started. And I'd like to hand over to Madda for the next exercise.
Thank you. So for the next exercise, we're still gonna tap into a little bit of what we've done now, which was to create a sort of a mind-body connection around the feeling and the theme of confidence. For the next exercise, though, we take a different approach. And now that we've all been charged in our confidence, but through the power pose and through imagining situations in which we feel comfortable, I'd like you to get your pen and paper and to write down very quickly. I'm just going to give you a minute or so. Write down 5 to 10 situations in which you feel confident, in which you feel comfortable, you know you have what it takes. It can be in your personal or professional life. You might feel comfortable talking, singing, dancing in front of others. You might not feel comfortable wearing fancy clothing. You might not feel comfortable being naked in front of others. You might feel comfortable taking a lead in your family, but not as much at work. Do you feel comfortable crying in front of others, helping others? Think about small moments during the day where you know you've got what it takes. You're comfortable, you know you're your best, you know that whatever happens, you're going to manage. You've got this. Don't overthink it, but aim for at least 5. And I'm going to give you, as I said, about 40 seconds for that. And more seconds to add a few items to your lists. And now we take it one step forward. Among these situations you've identified as confidence situations or anything that comes up now, please choose one. Choose one that maybe happens very often or that has happened very recently and it's very fresh in your mind. Something where you feel your confidence is at its strongest. And once you've chosen one or identified one, stay with that thought for a minute. If you need to, close your eyes, lower your gaze, but place yourself in that situation. Bring that back to memory as clearly, as fresh as you can. And we're going to explore that situation again. I'm going to guide you through it. But again, be with it. And as you are in these confident situations in which you know you have what it takes, you believe in your capabilities, you've got the skills, you've got the experience, you've got the resources you need, what do you see around you? What image would you associate to that experience of confidence? What's in your environment, but also what do you look like? What other people can see about yourselves? What are you wearing? What do you look like? What are your facial expressions? But also, who's around you? What visual elements do you associate strongly with that confidence experience? Write them down as a list, as a mind map, as a paragraph, in the way, shape, or form that comes natural to you, but evoke all these visual elements. And as your gaze is exploring these confidence situations, what sounds come through? What noises, what music, what voices even? Who is speaking? And if there are any words, what words are they speaking? In which tone, in which volume? Remember, you're in a confidence situation. What sound would you associate with that confidence? What do you hear that strengthen your confidence or roots it? As you're replacing yourself in that confidence situation where you felt, I got this, I'm happy here, I'm thriving. What do you smell? Are you wearing something? Is there a perfume you're wearing, your soap, your deodorant? What's the smell of the environment in which you are? And like the Madeleine that bring back memories from the past, what is a smell that you would associate strongly with that experience of confidence? Your confident place might not have anything to do with a dinner party, but what does it taste like? If you were to associate a taste, a flavor, or even a feeling of a food item to that confidence, what would it be like? Is it a bitter one? Is it a salty one? Is it a sweet one? Is it a minty one? Or what does it taste like? We are experiencing this situation with all our senses. So what can you touch? What does it feel like to the touch? What textures, even what materials, what temperature, either in your body or something that you experience from the environment in which you are having this experience of confidence. What is there that gives you, is in your hand or is perceived through your body, through pressures, through poking, to anything that somehow you strongly associate with that experience? And finally, sixth sense. What does your instinct say? What does your animal core feels like when you are confident? You are there, you're powerful. You are where you like to be, even if it's challenging, even if it's exciting and there is adrenaline. You want to be there. You feel strong, you feel powerful. You are where you want to be. And that comes through. What do you feel in your guts? How would you describe that feeling? Now all our senses satisfied and reminded of what it feels like to feel confident. I'll invite you to write down your last notes if you still have something you like to write down, and to step back for a moment from your writing. We like to close our writing exercise with something that we call, or self-reflection exercises, with something that we call a feedback loop. And that's a couple of minutes that we're going to have to reflect back on what's the experience been so far, in taking the power pose, or in bringing back to memory a confidence situations and going through the senses. What did you notice? What did come up for you? What did come up for you, sorry? What did you realize, or what surprised you related to your relationship with confidence, or even maybe something else? What surprised you? What didn't you expect or didn't see coming? Or what came through very strongly for you? What is your take-home message from the exercises we've done until now? Again, feel free to write that on your paper in any form or shape you like. If you like to share anything in the chat, please feel free to do so, but you don't have to. We'll just give you a minute of quiet time to write down what the exercise brought you, what you've learned about yourself and your relationship with confidence. We have about 20 seconds left, so please feel free to conclude your thoughts. Let your train of thoughts get to the end station, and then come back to the session with us. So as we prepare to move on for the last little bit in our session, I'd like to just highlight again how we wanted with these two exercises to work on that concept of mind-body connection, and how with the power pose we try to bring that feeling from the body up to the mind, and we try to do the opposite with the self-reflection and writing exercise. Now, we've worked on confidence situations, so places, spaces, events in which we feel confident. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. We might feel very confident in certain situations and not so confident in others, and that's perfectly normal, and that's absolutely fine. There might be, however, situations in which we wish we were more confident. And as Naomi said at the beginning, we can train that. And maybe one place to start is to continue with the self-reflection. So if there are situations in which you would like to be more confident, which situations are there? Where can you accept that you might not be confident and comfortable, and where would you really like to make some improvement and strengthening your confidence? And in those situations, given that confidence is the result of skills, practice, and experience, which of those three do you need? How and what are you going to do to get it? Where can you find more resources? Where can you find occasions to improve and increase any of those or more of those? It is really scary to do something we don't feel comfortable doing. Can be very uncomfortable. And that's where we need a little bit of extra courage to get started. So when we find that resistance, what is holding us back? Most things are related to fear. So what do we fear in that situation in which we are not so confident? What are we fearing? What are the obstacles? What limitations do we see that prevent us from feeling confident, more confident? And finally, what reassurance, what push, what support, what poking do we need? Who can give that to us? And as you might know, there is a famous Disney movie in which Dumbo, the elephant, believe they can fly only with a magic feather. We're not gonna, the point there is we might all need a little boost at some point and in some situations. So if there is a magic feather that can help you feel that confidence before you realize you got it on your own, you don't need it. What magic feather could you use? What could help you? And we're going to leave these questions for you to explore on your own time and in your own spaces. If you like to work on this theme of confidence as well as self-esteem, Naomi and I are partnering up again for a longer, a bit deeper workshop on the theme of self-esteem, in which we're going to touch again on confidence, to which you're all invited, of course, if you'd like to join us again. This will be on the 27th of November from 6:30 to 8. It's an online event. We're going to share some details about it in an information sheet that, as Naomi mentioned, we were going to share with you at the end of the session, that sort of summarizes everything, the facts and the exercises that we've shared with you. If you have any questions, absolutely don't hesitate to get in touch. Registrations for the workshop, again, on Naomi's website, werneckecoaching.com.
All right, everybody, first reflection. And I didn't think that confidence tasted like roast chicken for me, but now I know. We would like to thank every single one of you for joining us today. We know that you've invested 30 minutes of your valuable time to work on your confidence, and we think that's incredible. Thank you also for joining Strengthen App. There is another session coming up after this, a conversation between experts. We highly recommend that you join. And on behalf of Mada and myself, we'd like to close off with, you are capable, you are powerful, and you can do anything you put your mind to.